moving right along to the next segment, which is the rumor runner. And I'll be handing this portion over to our vice president. So Natty, go ahead.
14-year-old boy has died after falling from the free fall ride at an Icon Park in Orlando, Florida. 14-year-old Tyree Sampson boy from Missouri fell to his death while on a new ride at the amusement park. The Orlando Free Fall, the world's tallest freestanding drop tower, stands at a height of 430 feet. The teenager was transported to a local hospital where he died from his injuries. In 2020, a 21-year-old worker fell to his death at the same theme park while conducting a daily safety check on a different ride. There are no criminal charges filed at this time. Some comments from the public. Brandon Gregory says, "Get your wrist, kid. As a coach, you hate that phone call I received last night. Please keep his family and his former and current teammates and coaches in prayer." Was getting away from St. Louis to enjoy his spring break. He was happy. Hashtag RIP Big T.
All right, guys, we want to hear from you. The fact that there are no criminal charges at this time. And I want you guys to observe with me the very first picture. So the one to the very right, that's the young man. And a lot of persons on social media argue that he was clearly not strapped in properly. If we look at every other person, we look at him, some persons argue that they should have told him or, said, you are too big for this ride. You are not strapped in properly. We know that the ride is about 430 feet. That's a lot. 14-year-old, he went away just to enjoy his spring break. This was also a new ride. And the fact that the year before, a different person, an employee, had also passed away because of injury sustained from a faulty ride. This same amusement park. What are your thoughts? And also, when you speak on it, speak from also, if you were a close family member or friend to this person, how would you feel? And also, would you feel the need to press legal charges against the park? So we see some hands are raised, 2 hands. So we're going to go with Monique. Go ahead, Monique.
I am so glad I saw this tonight. I saw the post, and the first thing that came to my head is, don't they normally have restriction on weight for a ride? That's the first thing before I even went into the entire
weight.
Yes, I didn't even see the strap down. This is the first time I'm seeing the strap down picture. But from the moment I saw his picture itself, I was like, he was overweight for that ride. Why would you put somebody that was overweight on a ride like that? Not even not even a roller coaster that goes around, the one that shoots you up in the sky. Seriously? It's like I'm upset. I don't know him and I don't know his family, but I'm upset because why would you do that? That's like basically sending him to his death, as you can see right here. There's no, it can't, Alright, let me stop that. Somebody has stuck up for me because.
Thank you very much for sharing, Monique. I can see that you're very passionate about what happened. A few comments from the chat section is from Tedesh. We have Tedesh. We have, he was too big, yes. Also, they were warned of the risk, so he made that decision to go. I'm not sure about that part. And from Brian Ricketts, but shouldn't someone check all before they can take off? And then Miss McGowan said again, who can they blame? As she said, crazy they are to know the capacity limits and they are to check these things. I may say Jamaica slack, but when you ride the wheel that spin the air front way and back way, they check before closing the cabins and they give us strict instructions. All right, we're going to take the rest of the hands that are raised. We have Natty and we have Vaughn. Go ahead, Natty.
What I'm saying is, even with the overweight part, what I'm saying is, as a worker there, like, Meget said there was a high possibility that, okay, they could have told him that, okay, or he could have known that, okay, because of a wait, you're not allowed to do this. Even if he said, oh, I still want to go anywhere, whatever. You see that as an employee, when you strap him in, right? Or you send him to be strapped in, you see say, okay, him not strapping, and knowing these precautions for safety, you not go in your head and say, listen to me. Well, maybe through them know them not gonna lose them job or whatever. You not go and say, okay, guy, yeah, I have to go come off. Call other security to take him off if you don't want to come off. Because at the end of the day, when you look and you say, okay, me know all this thing work, me have the upper hand right here, why still send him on it, if you get what me I say? Because obviously everybody can say, okay, that pity they big, no offense. So why when you strap him in you say, okay, that not buckle properly, and worse is a ride where I bring you up in the ear. That make it even worse, and there's no other safety barrier there, it seems, other than that strapping thing. So why send them in there? When I get that part.
And I assume that when you go up in the air, there's a little jerky motion when you reach up, like a little, what do you call it? Like a little,
yeah.
So that little jolt, and that's 400.
Even gravity at the basic gravity that will come back down. And if you're not strapping, there's a high possibility to say you might drop out. Don't when if your car barely lift it, when you drop it, jerk you, or when you stop it, like you as a worker, you're supposed to have the basic knowledge of how the ride works. You know, say, okay, that pit not strapping, and if you go up in the air, there's a 80% or whatever percent possibility say something fatal might happen.
All right, Natty, thank you very much. We see from the comment section, we have from Ms. Burton, there should be someone to check the safety before they are legit launched into the air. Safety precautions were definitely overlooked, so there needs to be an investigation, and the person monitoring the ride needs to be charged along with the park itself. So we have 3 hands raised, and we're going to take those. We have Vaughn, Christopher, and Javon. So go ahead, Vaughn.
No, basically everybody said everything, because that's total negligence on the part of the park, because where's the person monitoring the ride to tell the person that they are not strapping properly, or where's the person to see that all the rules as it relates to that particular ride is being followed, as it relates to the weight or the safety measures that should be taken in terms of everybody should be strapped in properly. So this is negligence on the part of the park and the person who was working that particular day, and I don't see why any charge has not been laid as yet. I don't know if because in black.
Well, based on some articles, it says that they're doing investigations. I don't know. That's what they said. They said no criminal charges. They're investigating. Go ahead, Christopher. Let's hear from you.
Well, 2 things. You mentioned earlier about them being warned of the risks. No, they weren't warned of the risks, because I'm pretty sure they didn't warn him that his harness being in that position meant that it wasn't locked and he would fly out of it. That's one. And 2, it's bad engineering as well, because there are no seatbelts on that ride. I've been on one just like that before. There are no seatbelts on it. You can slide right under it, just like he did.
Thank you very much for the correction, Christopher. We have some comments in the chat. Monique was saying, isn't there like a rule for that? Like, if you are over the weight limits, you will not be let on the ride. They should have the option of still going on after not meeting the requirements. So she's saying they should not have the option of still going on. Dalvin said, better them did hurt him feelings and tell him too big for the ride. At least he would be alive. Kevon was saying they must be charged. They cannot be putting people's lives at risk like this. And guys, remember, earlier in 2020, there was an employee who passed away because of same fault in safety in a different ride. So Ms. Burton said these days there's a lot of anger surrounding fat phobia, so maybe the employee didn't want to come off harsh, but there are rules for a reason. If people want more inclusiveness, make rides for more heights and weight ranges. So someone is saying generally these places say ride at your own risk, but the establishment is obligated to provide safe rides nonetheless, which is true. We agree. So I see Nathaniel your hand is raised. Before we go to Nathaniel, or Javon, are you with us now?
Yes, I'm with you guys.
You can
I
go
would
ahead.
say, I would say that it's negligence due to the employee because there's some form of protocol or procedure that you should follow, and whether or not the client or customer whosoever is going to ride that ride or anything, there's a procedure that you should follow. So you sending the customer on the ride strap up unprotected or indoor strap up good, that's your negligence. So you're supposed to be charged for that, or you're supposed to lose your work for that because you are there to make sure that everything was safe. So when you go against that, that's your negligence. So you have to get some form of punishment or something for that because that's people life we're talking about. You know, call it the employee negligence cause that person will lose them life. I know that there's certain safety procedure that you have to follow in order for for those rights in everywhere you go. When you come on to certain stuff, you have a procedure to keep safe, right? So you have to follow it. So when you try to say, oh yeah, give a customer a blight, you have to remember, safety come first. So you can't just say, all right then, just because the customer really wanted to do it or they want to enjoy themselves, I will keep them a blight. You have to look back on the safer side. And that's how I said that. I would have said that's negligence due to the employee.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing, Javon. Nathaniel, let's hear from you.
Well, miss, one reason they might let him on the ride was because he was below their weight limit. So probably that could be one reason he end up there. But miss, I don't know whether to say if the park should be charged or not. But what they should do is go back to the drawing board and to reduce the um reduce the weight limit, if that makes any sense.
All right. Thank you for your input. All right, guys. I see that we were very, passionate about this topic. Thank you very much for all the persons that voiced their thoughts and opinions.